love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. This is a great mystery, and I mean in reference to Christ and the church, Catechism of the Catholic Church, 1616.
Marriage is the first and most natural call. It is a tangible representation of the everlasting communion of love that exists between God and humanity in heaven. The marriage of a man and a woman, whose love is complete, devoted, free, and fruitful.
Marriage is a gift from the Lord. It will never be a burden imposed to us. Thus, as choosing a priesthood or religious life, choosing to be married, procreate, and have children should be the subject of a process of vocational discernment.
Marriage is a sacrament and a covenant. The Church witnesses Christ's spousal love made manifest in the covenant love between a husband and wife, illuminating the complete significance and veracity of marriage.
Why is marriage important? Why must we understand the previous statements? Why should we remind ourselves of these points in our daily lives? In order to fully understand the teachings of the Church on this concept, we must go back to one of our primary Catholic doctrine sources, the New Testament.
CBE International contends that the New Testament writings played a pivotal role in transforming the understanding of marriage by advocating for a more egalitarian partnership between spouses. A shift from a hierarchical structure to a relationship built on neutrality and equality was also noticed, and this stands a significant contribution of the New Testament to evolving discourse of marriage.
Early Christians also acknowledged the importance of marriage. They maintained an unwavering commitment to their faith, placing it above all earthly ties. They envisioned marriage as a union built upon a foundation of love, believing that this genuine affection was the cornerstone of a successful and fulfilling marriage.
Christians during the New Testament also firmly held the belief that divorce was not a permissible solution to marital challenges, advocating for perseverance and reconciliation within the marriage covenant. They believed that marriage should be based on love. Marriage should be difficult, and divorce is wrong.
As St. Paul recognized the importance of sexual intimacy in marriage when he said that the husband and wife must engage in sexual activity to carry out their marital duty. Sex is therefore a necessary factor and binding aspect of a couple's relationship rather than making it an outcome.
On the other hand, St. Augustine and Pio discusses marriage as a bonum sacramenti, bonum fidei, and bonum prolis. First, bonum prolis clarifies that Christians should never become so engrossed in the act of procreation that they fail to recognize its reproductive benefits. Second, bonum fidei prioritizes the importance of fidelity or faithfulness, that is, being true to one another and serving one another in return, is emphasized. Finally, bonum sacramenti highlights the irreversibility of the marriage bond.
Last but not the least, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, marriage has two purposes: procreate and unitive. The procreative end of marriage highlights the idea that procreation has a deeper purpose than just ensuring the survival of the species. Bonum prolis, as he would call it, which is to educate the children. Conversely, the unitive end emphasizes that marriage is a partnership between males and females to share the labor and nurturing of the children.
Therefore, what God has joined together, no human being must separate. Jesus taught in the New Testament that marriage is irreversible. If you marry your significant other, then you will be married for life to that person. The narrative of Jesus and the Samaritan woman meeting at the well has a powerful symbolism that reminds us of the marriage between God and humanity, which is something that needs to be considered. This story explains why divorce is never acceptable, since it will put a crack on the idea of love between God and His people.
In the parable of the bridesmaid, Jesus further invoked the metaphor of marriage by telling that He is the bridegroom. It's common knowledge that Jesus is the fulfillment of the Old Covenant. If the Old Testament covenant recognizes marriage as a union between God and His chosen people, marriage finds its fulfillment in Jesus.
Marriage, in the simplest way explained, is a role to be fulfilled by a man and a woman. However, it has a profound and substantial significance that reflects God's eternal love for humanity. It is a covenant that bonds His love for humanity, a love that is not transient and shallow but rather everlasting and fathomless.
It encompasses the mutuality and equality of a man and a woman, manifesting in the consent and two-way understanding of marriage. Although its principles in the New Testament lies in when merely being procreators for a new life, it also became the origin for advocating a symbolic and purposeful marriage. The kind of marriage grounded on the same essence of love God formed and exhibited for humanity and a union does not falter under the challenging circumstances of life and divorce.